I've been involved in volunteerism for 40 years, both with USA Fencing and Maccabi USA. And as you can imagine, in volunteerism, you run into a lot of characters, and not all of them are so good and so nice. And it's very rare when you run into someone with the character of Roy Salomon. Someone like Roy only comes around once in a lifetime, unfortunately like a New York Rangers Stanley Cup for me. Roy is always there with a smile. He's always there with a pat on the back. He's always there with an uplifting message. He's always there with a joke. He's even quicker with a dirty joke. And Roy, that Mr. Nice stuff is wonderful, but I have to go on record here. You gotta tone it down. Next year, when the Rangers come into the Bell Center, and we have another Saturday Night Massacre, and you turn Henrik Lundqvist into Swiss cheese, do me a favor. Let me punch the couch, throw something at the wall, and mourn for 15 minutes before you call me to say, you know, Jeff, I thought the Rangers played pretty well tonight. One thing that always intrigued me was someone who's an anonymous donor. I never could understand why someone would remain anonymous. You care enough to give $100 or $1 million to a cause that you care about, yet you're anonymous. And when I think of Roy Salomon, I think of the anonymous donor. He's someone that has done this for almost 5 decades, and he loves what he does. And he really didn't want the accolades. And there's such a delicious irony today, Roy, that you were going to receive the highest honor from the International Jewish Sports Hall of Fame for a lifetime achievement. And I want to congratulate you on that. Tommy?
Thanks, Jeff. So I'm the president of Maccabi Canada, and I'm the president of Maccabi Canada because of Roy Salomon. Roy Salomon saw something in me that nobody saw, pushed me to be the best that I can be, and I'm one of thousands like that he's helped realize who they are and what they can be. To volunteer in an organization for 45 years straight, without a break, staying as passionate and as compassionate as he is today, as he was back then, is truly remarkable and one of a kind. You know, your role started off as a basketball player. At the time, you used to play for Duke as a freshman, and then played for Maccabi Canada, into administrator, into Maccabi Canada president, and vice president, and the honorary vice president of Maccabi World Union, and the Yakir Award. Yakir is given to the highest award given by Maccabi World Union. It's truly a special honor, and Roy has that. You are Mr. Maccabi, that's your nickname, and it fits. You're there for everyone. Look at that. Look on your faces with your family there. It's really special. You're truly a special family person. And I'm going to close by saying a couple things about you, in the sense that Cavis's old coach, Pinball Clemens, a friend of mine, once told me that you're not great because of the good things you do. You're judged by how many people you touch in a positive way. For you, Roy, that number is in the thousands, literally in the thousands. And I'll close by just picking up on what Tony Lafreda once said here this morning, that the 2 greatest qualities one needs to have to be considered a great individual are humility and integrity. Check it out in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Roy Salomon there. Roy, I'd like to call you up to give this award. Lifetime Achievement Award presented to Roy Salomon to honor and recognize your commitment to the state of Israel and society through sports, 2019.
Imagine how emotional I feel now. Thank you so much, Tommy and Jeff. Thank you for coming in from Toronto, New Jersey, just for this occasion. We talked before about returning a compliment, but I have to tell you, these 2 men, they're both gold medal winners at the Maccabi Games. And instead of coming back and just, sort of staying with their laurels, they came back and they became involved in the organization and made it possible for so many other people to experience what they had experienced. They're truly wonderful people. And I thank you for your words. I just don't know what to say at this point, other than I really feel really blessed to be around all of you, because I have to tell you, the bottom line in all of this is friendship. It's being with the people who you really like, doing a job for your community. And I've been blessed in that way to be involved with so many people, so many wonderful people all these years. I want to thank the International Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. If you ever get to Israel, I promise you it's a wonderful place to go. I came in as a builder, but they've honored every Jewish athlete in the world from day one. You'll see tributes to Sandy Koufax and to Mark Spitz, and on and on and on. It's just a wonderful place. And I just like to say something about the people who've been honored tonight. I congratulate all of you. So much has been said about all of you, and I don't want to repeat it. But I will say one thing. You all excel tremendously in your chosen field. You're known to many people right across Canada and sometimes across the world. But the reality is, you set an example. That's the thing that you all have in common. You set an example for the young people in our communities to follow. And that's so important, I can't stress it. I've been involved with Maccabi and the Y Jewish Community Center for a long time. I've seen all the athletes and how they react. And you know, I always hear the story, I don't always, but in the paper I read, you know, I don't want to be a person that the other young people look up to. I don't want to be a role model. But I have news for all these athletes. They are all role models because the young people are watching them. The young people are emulating them. And it's so important. And that's what I see today in our 4 honorees. Men of great character. And talking of men of great character, there's always one person that comes to mind when that happens. And that's the late, great Jean Beliveau. Jean was our honorary chef de mission at 2 Maccabi games. Nobody's ever had that honor. And this is just a short story. We're on the plane, we take off, we're now leveling off, and Jean's obviously in a very good seat because he's the honorary chef de mission. And seatbelts come off, and all of a sudden it's like Jean is going over the boards in a Stanley Cup game against the Bruins. And he takes off walking down the plane, and I promise you, he spent the next 3 or 4 hours talking to every athlete on that plane. Not about Jean Beliveau, but about who they were, where they came from, what their sport was. And that makes such an important impression on these people. It was just something very special. The other thing I want to mention are the people who organized this event. I know we've heard it time and time again, but we can't really emphasize it enough what they do. The lay people, the professional staff, first rate, and they work very hard to do what they're doing. We may have heard it tonight, but we can hear it again. 20% of our community lives under the poverty level. And most of them are senior citizens who really can't care for themselves. And what the people do here is they make their lives better. And for any community, that's the highest honor you can pay. And these are very special people to do what they've done. One of the last things I want to talk about are friends. I have so many friends here today. I think that's the name of the game, is being with your friends and doing work in your community. And I feel blessed. I didn't know who was going to be here, but I have friends from the Y. I have friends from business. I have friends from Maccabi. And they've been very special in my life. And I think that's what it's all about. If you want to see the organizations that do very well, then look for the ones where the people are working as friends. And I close now. I want to mention a few people. Gary Callis and Bob Luxembourg, multi-gold medal winners and good friends. I didn't know they were coming. And there's so many other people here. I'm sorry if there's no time to talk about you. But I have a very special longtime friend, Sam Eltis. If you listed what he did for this community over these many years, you'd need a full session to talk about what he's done. He's been a loyal, great friend to me for almost 60 years. And to my girlfriend, Benny, to my daughter, Jill, to my sister, Ruth, And to my grandsons, Cooper and Foster, I thank you for your love and your constant support. Be brave and be strong. Thank you very much. Merci.